we mentioned data, and I think there's probably two critical components to that. One thing that we accomplished by moving to TeamSense was really structuring our data in a way that we can consume it. We talked about sort of the real time, someone calls off and that supervisor gets the notification immediately. That's huge because, in we run 24/7 operations in most of our facilities, and you basically have a 15-minute window, especially between shift changeovers, where you're really planning out what's going to happen for the next 8, 10, or 12 hours. And getting that information on who's here, who's not going to be here, who's going to get here late, all that kind of stuff factors into how we plan to keep the lines running. Because it's very expensive to not have a line operational for any period of time.
Was that time differential was greater when it was only the IVR line?
Absolutely. Yes. And it was even much greater when you'd have call offs on a third shift and there was no HR administrator to pull your data for you.
Right.
So it was definitely a big gap that we had. I would say secondly, having that data in a structured format, we're able to use it in some of our dashboard and metrics that we're developing for HR. So we have developed, BI platforms that we use across several different, key metrics around retention, around performance, attendance as what we call it now is a big component of that, and the driver for that is the TeamSense data. That we can have it in such a way that we can start, seeing what the trends are. So not just in a micro individual component, but in that macro component of, are we trending higher on sick or COVID related call-offs than we were in the prior months? And is that something we need to take action on? Is there a specific department that's seeing a much higher trend in call-offs than they were previously, right? Maybe there's a discussion to have with the supervisors of that department. How is Wilmington call-offs comparing to Scranton when you control for the relative employee populations? And so why is Wilmington trending higher than Scranton? You start to see some of these things from the data, and then when working with leadership, you can start to, take actionable items from that data.